Good morning, and welcome to Live in a Greenhouse on YouTube. If you're new here, this channel is about my journey to design, build, and then live in the first greenhouse-enclosed tiny home in the United States. My property is comprised of what used to be 2.5 parcels with pre-existing cabins that were served by water, power, septic, and internet, all of which have been abandoned since I purchased the property. There's also a trailer that is served by water, power, septic, and internet where I live and work until the house is done. There are so many lines running under and on top of my property that my poor contractor hits something almost every time he digs, and sometimes even when not digging. If you've been following along, you'll have seen many of the old utility lines broken, moved, or removed. Not a big deal except for the utilities to the trailer. This is what is left of the pre-existing utilities. Another thing about my property is how little room isn't taken up by structures or the septic system, so maneuvering big machines is challenging. Today's episode covers 3 days and is a masterclass in planning ahead to trench for the new water and power and connecting the new septic lines into the existing, what order to dig, where to set the machine to dig, where to place the dirt, and how to maneuver within the site after all these trenches are dug. So if you like Tetris, stay tuned for Tetris in 3D. There used to be a deer path through where the retaining wall is, so a lot of deer come through my property. Some are even curious about the greenhouse. First order of business is for Dave to load debris for a dump run, and for Matt, my builder, and Adam, the excavation contractor, to do a walkabout to plan out the job. This time, Adam brought Dan as his ground crew. This cleanout is where they'll connect the new septic lines into the old. The last section of deck will finally go to make room for the backhoe. This is where the new septic transfer line will go. Once the debris was moved, Adam scraped back the road rock to begin digging the driveway water and power supply trench. I'd never seen a backward bucket like this. Learn something new every day. Unfortunately, he ran into rock that will need the rock breaker, so Adam will bring that machine tomorrow, and for now we'll move to the lower side of the retaining wall to dig the north power and water supply trench. Dan measured for the length of pipe to go in this trench, which quickly began filling with subsurface water running down the hill. Water supply under the greenhouse wall to the house, and onward to the electrical panel and water to the cabins. Time to remove that scab from the tool shed. Conduit to run the supply lines under the retaining wall. The guys are good sports about having cameras pointed at them. Matt will replace the supply line that was accidentally pulled out during the greenhouse construction. Then on to loading up the debris in the lower parking area. There's no room to move the machine through my property, so Adam continued down behind the cabins to the road and drove around the block to enter on the east side. Next up is trenching the south side of the greenhouse for the new septic line. But first, piles of stumps, dirt, rocks, and old deck sections to move. Exposing the septic line. And there's the old power line to the septic tank and sand filter pumps. This will get replaced with new power lines. And continue trenching uphill back to where the trailer's water line will branch off. I can shoot this video from inside the trailer at work while on a conference call. Since I live in the trailer, Matt fixed the existing water supply that had somehow been damaged. Trenching toward the trailer for the new water and power means more obstacles, this time a couple stumps to dig out. Safest place to shoot this video is from inside the trailer. Cutting the water line to prepare the standpipe, while Adam finishes digging backward for the junction of the east and the south trenches. Not texting. They're using the timer on their phones to time the standpipe well. The new water line went into the trench. Then Adam continued the septic trench up to the retaining wall. And that's where the guys called it a day. This is the most torn up my property will be through the entire process. There isn't a single path through without crossing a pile or a hole. I'm trying to work out the greenhouse lighting before the electrician starts. So once it got dark, I turned on a string of cafe lights that I wanted to try out for general lighting. Then I walked around the house and the greenhouse to evaluate whether I liked it or not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Next day, Adam was back bright and early with the rock breaker to finish the driveway trench. More rock. Time to connect up the septic line. Connect up the conduit for the north power supply to the cabins, and weld up the water supply lines to the cabin. First, both ends of the pipe are trimmed so they're perfectly square. Then, they're heat welded for exactly 50 seconds. The north trench is now ready for the electrician. With the water supply line run out to the edge of the property, it's now time to trench across the driveway to the water meter. But first, there's brush to clear while avoiding the power, water, and internet that runs to the trailer. Dig it up, and then fill it in. Finally, on to connecting the new septic line to the drain field, the last task before the south and east trenches can be closed. The as-built for this drain field shows 3 lateral lines, but I was only able to find 2 of the 3 outlets, so first we have to find that 3rd outlet. Glad to know it wasn't just me. Even the experts had to break out the big bar to probe for the line. Finally found the outlet under the tree. After moving a stack of rocks, Adam finished trenching on the uphill side of the retaining wall, and Dan glued up the pipe, while Adam exposed the drain field pipes. Matt had a great idea to try rope lights on the greenhouse purlins for general lighting. I ordered one 60-foot rope as a trial that arrived today, and I finished installing it just before dark. I love it. They provide a soft, indirect light inside and accent the greenhouse shape from the outside. Someone driving by literally passed, stopped, backed up to take a look for a few minutes. What do you think? The third and final day was a sprint to the finish line of filling in the drain field, south and east trenches, and valve covers on the drain field's lateral line valves. Just 3 days from a total mess to almost the final topography, plus another huge job completed and ready for the electrician and plumber. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and come back next time as we rough in the house plumbing.